Yo, what's up guys? So today's video is going to be something a little bit different. I'm going to be VOD reviewing one of my viewers, picking out some things he did wrong and showing him what he can improve on, and hopefully you guys can pick up on this and improve your gameplay as well. But before we get into the video, if you enjoy my content or this video does help you, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing as it helps this channel so much and helps us grow. Links to all my other social medias will be down in the description below if you want to see more of me or you have any questions. But most importantly, please be sure to follow my Twitch where I stream Apex almost every day. That's it for that. Now we can get into the video. So this gameplay was sent in by one of my viewers, Kyrios. He's doing some solo no-fill duos, which is a really good mode to improve on. Solo no-fill trios is really good as well, but that's only going to be good if you have a strong foundation and you're already pretty decent at the game. Because if you don't have those fundamentals built up and you're not already a strong player, you're just going to be getting run down by 3 stacks and probably dying off rip most of your games and not actually learning too much. So that's why I think solo duos is going to be a better option for most people to improve. I might be nitpicking a lot of small things, but that's because I just want you to know that there's a lot to work on. You're not a bad player by any means, but there's just so many different small things that you could be doing to add up to make your gameplay so much better. And this is my first time doing anything like this, so please take it easy on me. I will try to do my best, but I'm done talking about this for now. Let's watch this together and start picking out some stuff. Off rip, he's got a wingman R9. That's not bad. Taking a little long to loot. That's okay. Right now, I'm not really sure what you're doing while you're crouch walking. They already know you're over there. They've heard you. They've already heard you. This is good. You should be looking for shots now. You hear them right above. Yep, there you go. Some shots. Nice. So just one quick thing that I noticed there. Just unnecessary strafing. They didn't see you. They had no idea you were there, but yet you were still 80-80 strafing, and it was messing up your aim a little bit. So that's just something to keep in mind. If they don't know you're there, you don't always have to be strafing back and forth. It's so much easier to hit shots when you're just standing still, not moving. And you definitely should have been doing that until that last Octane turned around and saw you right there. Right here, we hear people fighting below us. So we're going to go scout that. Some nice shots onto the Wraith. Fortunately, she phases. It's alright. I like this. You're going back to the high ground. I don't like that. I'm sure that was probably an accident, but definitely just be mindful that when you're looking for peaks like that, it's so easy to drop off because you don't know how many are right there. And in a second, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll just play it real quick. Yeah, there's 2 of them on that door. If they had just a couple more brain cells, they would have just turned around and lasered you so easy. But you got the knock on her. That's good. Now, you heard the res go off. You should already be getting your thermite ready because you knocked them on the door. You know that they're going to be there on that door. You wasted a lot of time and now they already got the res off. If you did that already, you probably could have broke the door down, got some nade damage, and as she was resing, you maybe could have re-knocked her, maybe. And now they have a little chance to reset while you have to go up and heal. So right now you should be popping cells. Should be popping cells. We need to be popping cells. We need to be healing really bad right now. The reason you want to be popping cells and not looking for an angle on that horizon is you hear the people in the building right next to you. They're still there. I don't know what floor they're on, but you know they're still there. When you got on that ledge and looked for that angle on that horizon, you easily could have been beamed in the back from that window. And you didn't have an angle anyways. You may have gotten a couple of R9 shots off, which isn't really worth anything. It's really important to prioritize your health. I really can't stress how important that is. If you watch a player like Aceu, you know, he'll miss out on 2 or 3 kills just so he can pop those extra cells and make sure he's at full health before he takes a fight. And that's another thing that I'm saying about wasted time is you go like this for a pretty long time before you heal. Just keep in mind that any downtime you have, even when you're in a fight, there's still plenty of seconds of downtime. You need to be popping heals. Right now, you hear that someone's under you. I don't know what floor they're on, but they are inside your building. You should be giving that person in your building your full attention. Looks like the Octane's padding up on you as well. All right, you phase away, and I'm gonna assume that was the team in the zipline building. Now, real quick, I'll just let this phase finish out, and then I'll tell you what I want to say. So you phase to this building. This isn't my first choice of buildings, but it happened. And even right now, you should be popping cells behind this door. Like that needs to be a much higher priority than what you're making it. What I would have done, instead of phasing to this building, I would have phased to the zipline building as it's much easier to fight teams in there and separate them. It's not impossible to do in this building, especially in duos. It's just making it much harder for yourself. Because if you think about it, in this building, there's only 3 ways you can get out. It's the front door, this door you came in, and the top door. But if you go to the zipline building, there's 5 or 6 doors. doors, zip lines, stairs. There's a whole roof you can access. There's high ground on the roof. There's just so many different angles and things to play around in that zipline building that makes it much more efficient than this one. Now, I don't think they run you down here, but just keep that in mind. I'm probably going to be referencing it a lot, but if you watch a player like ACU, pay attention to where he takes fights, because I guarantee you he would not have been coming to this building. He would have went straight to that zipline building. So just remember that. Be careful where you pick your fights. Like I said, I don't think they run you down here. Let's watch it and play it out. Yeah, thankfully they didn't run you down here, because they could have easily octane padded on you and just got in your face and 1v2'd pretty easily, I bet. The reposition is not bad here. Got to get the wall bounce in for style points. Always got to make sure we do that. All right, so now they're finally pushing you. Yeah, you heard him climb up. Got the shots there. Good. All right, yeah. That's a good phase. You're being mindful of where you were. And it's really hard to 1v2 in that building. It's a little bit easier in this building. Got some nice shots on the Wraith there. And you hear the one. He's coming around inside. I don't really like that you went for this door. You got really lucky he didn't have his gun out. He had a nade. Instead of taking this big angle and sliding towards the door, you could have done a quick tap strafe to go up that little shaft and then go to the second floor. I guarantee the Octane wouldn't have hit you even if he did have his gun out, if you did a quick 180-degree tap strafe there. And then what you possibly could have done from there is wrapped around the outside and then killed that Wraith who's healing just outside right here. But yeah, you got really lucky you didn't get beamed right here. So yeah, the Wraith is right there. Be mindful. I know it looks really cool running with your knife out, but when we know people are close and we're not sliding or anything, like we need to have our gun out. You have to have your gun out. Okay. Now immediately what you need to be doing is going around this door and getting your cells off. I don't think you have any bats. You get a syringe off. You always want to be prioritizing shields above white heals because they're faster. Just always keep that in mind. So you shouldn't be peeking right here. You should be on the inside, just getting your cells off. And the reason that I say that is because you never know, the Octane might be a complete psychopath and he could have took the pad and tapped strafe back towards you and you would have been on the outside just like a sitting duck and he probably would have killed you. There was absolutely no reason to be outside healing right there. You should have just been on the inside on the door popping your cells. But I like that. You had the thermite ready. That was good. Like I said, you break the door down, you get the damage, and I think you actually get the kill here. So we need to be getting full health right here. All right. There we go. You're popping your cells. Let's get one more off. Let's get one more off right now. Let's do it. I know you can do it. Look at like that. It's just, that's what I was saying earlier about wasted time. It's really simple. It's not necessarily like you're making a misplay or like that's the reason you're dying. It's just you could be much better optimizing your gameplay. Do you hear them? I think they're below you. Pretty sure on that floor. That peak was a little bit wide. Just keep in mind that you could have achieved the same thing by barely peeking around the doorway, yet you swung that entire thing, and it could have ended up much worse for you. You see him? All right, so you know there's 3 teams here. That's definitely, like, practice on hitting that jump. I know it's something that's not too important. But like I said, optimizing your gameplay, hitting that second floor, you already have the high ground in case they drop down on you. You'd be at a much better advantage. This is nice. You popped the cell. I'm proud of you. We're definitely making progress already. So right here, you're looking for an angle right there. That's not bad. You hear the Valk flying up. All right, got some nice shots on the Valk. You also weren't unnecessarily strafing there when you didn't see it, which is good. So right here, no bueno. I know the Valk is probably low, but you don't know if she has a teammate. You don't know if she's solo. You also know that there's a full team in that building looking for her. And you got really lucky right here that they didn't peek from those balconies in the zipline building and laser your ass. Oh, and actually, I stand corrected. They did. You just got lucky that they don't have the best aim. All right, get on the door. Let's pop some cells. All right, we're on the syringes again. Please prioritize your shield healing over your white heals. Not bad. Start getting some cells. All right, we're still on syringes for some reason. Oh, okay, we got the cells going now. Love to see that. Please tell me you go all the way. Please tell me you heal all the way up. All right, so now you just heard somebody come in through the door in the bottom floor. Let's see what you do now. All right, so you got your last sell off. That's good. You know there's someone underneath you. There you go. Yeah, let's start taking some angles. I like it. All right, I like that you didn't drop down there as well. You got some nice shots off. You didn't take any damage. That was good. That was a good peek. Nice shots in the Pathfinder. Did he get it? All right. Nice shots there. Well done. Didn't unnecessarily peek. Hit your shots. Took no damage. That's clean. That's what you want to see. This is really risky. You might know how many are in that building. I don't know what's going on in your head. I think it's just one, but you never know. It might be two. Just keep in mind that this is a risky play. I know you kind of need the loot. I'm sure you know that this could be risky right here. So yeah, right here. Standing still in a death box. Please don't be doing that. You're on keyboard for a reason. Like, even if it's just a simple 80-80, just please make sure you're doing that. You got lucky that there was a full purple armor in this box. So thank you, Respawn, for that. But just please do not stand still while you're looting. Swap that. All right, I like it. So I think this is just a solo Valk that's in this building on top of you. Now here, I kind of like that you didn't go straight at her and you're kind of waiting the situation out. Personally, I know me, I probably would have just climbed up there and took the 50-50 and maybe lost. But this is okay. I like that you're kind of waiting it out. Okay, maybe you're waiting a little bit too long now. Okay, so I thought she was up top, but she was on the bottom that whole time. But you heard it for a split second. You could hear her climbing in that little shaft right there. And that should have triggered in your mind that she's coming up here. Hang on. Were you sitting with your gun out? Or did you have your knife out? Okay. If you're ratting, take your gun out. You do not need to have your knife out because your knife isn't going to do any damage from that distance. Yeah, right there. You had a lot of time to react to that, actually. I don't know if you heard that. I'm not sure if you heard that. You need to be paying attention for those audio cues. And if you're ratting, have your gun out. There's no reason to have your fists or heirloom out. Also, another thing, it's kind of small, but as you were taking these shots, you should have played closer to the door so that when you were taking this damage and you knew you wanted to get out, you could have just got on the other side of the door, held that, and done one or two things. You could have popped your cells and got full health while she was on the other side of the door, or you could have sat there and waited for your Q to pop off and she couldn't have done anything about it, and then you can reposition to another building, whatever you do. I think you go back to the other building here. Yeah, you took a lot of unnecessary damage there, and you probably could have killed her if you had your gun out initially. So this is good. You should need to be popping cells in the door right here. All right, we're doing that. We hear, look at you. Look at you. I'm so proud of you. Where was this at earlier? Unfortunately, you did get hit with a little shot through the door, which is kind of unlucky. But I do like that you're prioritizing your heals right now. So let's get full health right here. All right. Now, these kind of things do happen a lot. I think here, let's watch it real quick before I say anything. All right. You could have got that off for sure. Okay, I'm glad you got that one off. So something to note here, you see how she's crouched? It's going to be so much easier to tell when she gets up and kicks the door. So what you should be doing here is you just need to be popping your heals. And then as soon as you see her stand up and kick, you need to cancel your heal. And by the time she gets done with her animation and finally pulls her gun out, you're already going to be canceled. You're going to have your gun out. You're going to have the advantage here. So just always keep that in mind. If you're the one kicking the door, you're most likely going to be the one at a disadvantage if your opponent isn't a snail and can pull their gun out in time. Yeah, just here, you need to be getting full HP and just watching for that kick. Which I don't think you do. I think you keep playing. Okay, you got the syringe off. Still waiting a little bit long in between heals. Like right now, you should be popping that last syringe. Not bad. You had some nice shots on her there. You played the door kind of well. But one thing I noticed, it looks like you have auto sprint on, which is really bad for shotguns. I think that's what the issue is there. That's why your shots were kind of delayed, or it also might just be no bolt. But just keep in mind that if you do have auto sprint on, your shotguns are going to have a weird delay, especially with the Eva. That's where it's the most noticeable, in my opinion. Personally, I would have stuck closer to this little ledge right here instead of just sitting in the middle and waiting for her to take a shot in window. Or you could have backed up and played the other side of this little pillar and just taking pop shots instead of just standing in the open and taking the 50-50. Right there, that spot was kind of questionable, but unfortunately you don't get too punished for it. It's all right. You guys are probably both about at the same HP here. So this, I guess it's not that bad because you know she's not full HP. It's still not optimal though, although you did get away with it here, and I'll play it for you real quick. Let me just rewind for a second. Instead of dropping down in the middle of the open right here, you could have achieved the same thing by dropping on this pillar and just playing around that. Or maybe you didn't even have to drop at all. You could have just played from the high ground right here. Because if this person was on console or controller, I'm sorry, but you would have been dead 100%. Just keep in mind, play around cover a little bit more. You're taking a lot of fights in the open. And I know she didn't even really hit you there, but I promise you if she was on the other input, that probably would have been a whole different story. Occasionally standing still when looting. Try to get away from that. It's not the worst habit to have as long as you're not standing still the whole time. But it is better to just be strafing the whole time because you never know what's going to happen. So that fight kind of took a while. And while you were looting in that box, always be paying attention to ring, what round it is and how long you have, because you drop those syringes. I think you still have medkits though. I'm not sure. You might still have 4 medkits, but if you didn't, you should have took those syringes because this zone is going to be kind of rough. So always be mindful of when the zone is closing. You know, if there's 30 seconds to a minute left on zone and you're still in a fight, just know that you're probably going to be coming in through the storm. So make sure you have extra white heals for that. I'm not really sure why we're phasing here. The only reason you need to be phasing is if you're taking damage from the zone. You don't really need to be rushing anything right now, and this ends up being pretty detrimental to you here in a second. Especially when you're playing solo, you really need to be keeping that phase for when you really need it. You know, if you're stacking with a buddy or two, you know they're going to be there to have your back if you're in a bad spot, but when you're playing solo, you really need that. But let's watch it and I'll show you guys what happens. Yeah, there is absolutely no reason to be phasing right there. And as you see, there's 2 people in front of you right here. I probably would have waited a second because that cross right there, unless you have really good aim, the chances of you one-clipping that person are really low, especially considering they just slid jump across that gap and made them a really hard target to hit. I probably would have waited a second, came up behind them until they went down into Harvester a little bit so you have the high ground. So you had a little bit more chance of pumping some more damage out and hopefully getting a knock. But instead, now you have their attention in a pretty open field while you're in zone further behind them. So you have just about every disadvantage in the world right here. But I'll play it out and we'll see what happens. Now right here, your phase probably could have saved you, but we'll watch it again real quick. Now, I don't know if you noticed it. You had it there as soon as you hit about right here. And if you would have went further back, you probably could have got some more heals off. And at this point, it's a 1v1 because the Wraith phased away. I guess she was scared. So this was 100% winnable right here. It just went wrong when you preemptively used your Q for no reason. And it was kind of unfortunate that you got ratted on, but you could have saved yourself a little bit right there if you did have it. You could have portaled and Q'd and then went back in the zone a little bit and got a safe space. But I'll play it out right now and let you see what happens. Yeah, when you're low HP like that, full body peeking for as long as you did was kind of not the play. I probably would have been roasting you if that was me who killed you. Like, why are you re-peeking when you're 30 HP? That was probably still winnable against the Crypto if you played around this cover a little bit better. He did have a massive, so the chances are really low. But taking a few shots, you know, backing up a little bit instead of just giving your life away could have made a difference there. You never know. You could have hit some shots, you could have missed his shots. But now you know for next time. So just the main takeaways from this video that I can give you is you need to stop wasting time. Prioritize your heals more because you have a lot of downtime in your fights, and especially in this game. I'm sure this was a slower game, but any few extra seconds that you have needs to be used for healing, getting angles, etc. instead of just kind of standing there in a corner with your knife out, spinning it around. We also need to work on our peeking a little bit. You know, no reason to be taking 50-50 fights when cover is built everywhere into the map. Learn to play around doors a little bit more. Doors are very useful and there's a lot of outplay potential there, especially on Wraith. And also just be more mindful of the fights you take when zone is close. Pay attention to that timer, pay attention to what zone it is, pay attention to what's in your inventory, what kind of heals you have. Yeah, those are the main takeaways from this video. I hope I can help you with this. It is my first time, but I'll get better as I go on. I am going to be doing more of these, so if you guys do want me to review your gameplay, please join my Discord and I'll make an announcement when I'm doing another one and then you guys can link me there. I'm going to be trying to get one of these out every week or two because they are pretty cool to make and I know they can be very helpful to a lot of people. But now I'm going to wrap up today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, please do leave a like and a comment and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Check out all my other social medias down in the description below. I have Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, a growing Discord where if you guys are looking for people to play play with or you have any questions, that's a good place to join. And I say it all the time, but most importantly, please be sure to follow me on my Twitch so you can watch me play Apex almost every day. But that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I really hope I could help you. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace.